Moving on to our next session on a very interesting subject on food testing, methods and technologies in food and beverages. Now, before I call on stage the honorable panel members, I would request all of our honorable delegates to kindly take their seats and please be seated and kindly maintain the decorum of having your mobiles in silent or in vibration mode so that we can have a smooth session here. Those of you who have still not had your breakfast, I would request you to have it here. You are more than welcome to bring your tea, coffee and snacks inside the hall and have it, as we need to start the session on time. Now, before I invite the honorable panel members, I would like to share a few points on which they would be discussing the next session, like protecting customers from any contaminated, modified and unhealthy food, building brand equity and customer loyalty by delivering healthy and safe food, rapid detection, identification and application in surveillance at national level, and many more. So now, ladies and gentlemen, without taking further time, let us introduce our honorable panel members, and I want you all to give a big round of applause for all the panel members I am going to invite on stage. Joining first on the panel, we have Dr. Kriti Soni, Head R&D from Kapiva Ayurveda. A big round of applause to Dr. Kriti. Doctor, welcome to the stage. Joining next, we have Mr. RATNESH SRIVASTAVA, General Manager R&D from Nutrelis Agro Food. A big round of applause to RATNESH. RATNESH, welcome to the stage. Joining next, we have Mr. Ashish Savita, Head R&D NDC from Devyani Food Industries. A big round of applause to Ashish. Ashish, welcome to the stage. Joining next, we have Mr. Pradip Kundu, Head Quality Dabur India. Big round of applause to Pradip. Pradip, thank you for joining the stage. Joining next, we have Mr. Naresh Kumar, Application Support Manager from bioMérieux South Asia. Big round of applause to Naresh. Naresh, welcome to the stage. And I would like to call on stage our honorable moderator, Dr. Neerja Hajela, Head Science and Regulatory Affairs from Yakult, Danone, India. A big round of applause to Dr. Neerja. So Neerja ji, you have a fantastic panel of experts with you and a full house of audience. So looking forward to a great session from you.
So thank you very much. To start with, I'm going to thank Synnex for this opportunity. I think we all meet each other in this one hall, and that's been happening for the last couple of years, and I think that's big kudos to Synnex. And this physical meeting has its own charm, I think, whatever one may say, that online virtual meetings were not as effective as meeting in person and getting to know the other person's point of view. So we did have an excellent panel discussion on food fortification. And ever since COVID-19, the whole thrust has been on food, healthy food, foods for building immunity, whatever nutrition has gained a lot of importance. But along with foods, what is very, very important is also the safety of food. And this food safety is becoming increasingly important now, both in developed and developing countries. I mean, while we are talking about good nutrition, but if the food is contaminated, that entire nutrition has little or no meaning. So it's becoming very, very important, and the onus is on the industry who's producing that food to ensure that the food is absolutely safe, not only at the point of time of manufacture, but till end of shelf life. So for instance, I come from a probiotic food industry, and we have Yakult, which has live bacteria. So for us, right from start, from the raw material till the end, while the final product is manufactured, we have to ensure that there are at least 100 quality checks to ensure that the end product, the consumer gets, is absolutely safe for consumption, because here we are talking about live bacteria. But so is the state with all other foods. Now, if there are toxins, there are contaminants in food, it causes health hazards, and of course some of them can also be fatal. Food manufacturing processes therefore require that there should be an in-process quality check at all times to detect foodborne pathogens. So now the requirement varies from industry to industry depending upon the requirement of that particular food or beverage. But the rapid testing of these foodborne pathogens in food, right from raw material to end product is very, very important to ensure that you protect the consumer from contaminated foods. Now, traditional microbiological methods were, of course, there, but they were very slow. They were time consuming and very, very tedious and not as sensitive. So they could not really meet the demand of food testing as we see it today. So there has been an advent in technology, and now we have immunological methods, we have biosensors, we have microbiological, molecular biology methods to detect foodborne pathogens. And I'm not going to talk further than this because we have an expert panel, and all of whom are in the area of food safety, quality assurance in their various industries. So my first question is to RATNESH. What are the basic fundamental precautions or steps that need to be taken to avoid micro-contamination for product development? So RATNESH is the GM R&D from Nutrelis Agro Foods. So I think he has a good insight into what steps need to be taken on.
Hello, good morning everyone, and namaste, first of all. And thanks for the Synnex group to choose me as the panelist for this group. I had worked with the two-stream organization about 25 years to Dabur India Limited as a R&D head. And next one is the Patanjali. And presently now I am working in Nutrelis Agro. I have developed a lot of the products, about more than 20 products recently in the market available. I share my experience in last 27 years. When we develop the product in the lab, first we are thinking it's good in taste, in the quality and texture and protein, vitamins, something like that. But not least and last, one is most important and major is the food should be hygiene, the first priority, I think. Now, there's the 3 or 4 steps is very more and more important when we scale up the product in the plant. First is raw material initial load, that means microbiological contamination is there. And what is the handling and storage and what the process you adopt for the processing for the food product. The condition is very important. And another is you can packaging structure also involved, is most important, and how you will be dispatched the your product and you keep in the warehouse. This is most important. Because hygiene point of view, microbial contaminant will become from handling and where you storage your raw materials and how should the proper, and one is more another important thing is the microbial load in your processing area. This is the most important. Generally वो लोग ध्यान नहीं देते हैं because process adopt आप कर रहे हैं कि क्या conditions है या किस तरह की storage में हमने रखा है, but you should please keep aware of this is very important, the micro load of the your where you are processing the area. This should be very most important. And we can go another, there's the lot of sources to rapid testing available in the for the microbial, just like Vedas is the very I think very important Vedas. The resources is viability is the very much good, and all is TVC is a microbial contamination, find out. But when you produce the product should be hygiene is the, I think, more important, not for the taste and texture and something like that. You should please keep aware of the hygiene point of view, as per my.
Thank you, Ratnesh. I think you've set the stage for the panel discussion. That right from raw material to end, hygiene is very important and no contamination. So that brings me to Naresh for the next question. Naresh is with bioMérieux. He is the application manager, South Asia. So what are the global trends of food safety and surveillance of foodborne diseases? What are the latest trends? We're really hearing a lot, but can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the question, and good morning, everyone. So I'll start with the sentence, food safety is a shared responsibility. Okay, as a stakeholders, I think it's everybody's responsibility, starting from the manufacturers, from the from the farm to fork, I think. And yes, there are many initiatives taken by the regulatory bodies, and also the manufacturers are following the regulations properly. Yes, it's changing now, because if you see 10, 20 years back, it was in very initial stage, but we have come a long way now. I think, yes, and the trends are changing. So if we see globally, the foodborne disease burden is very high. Around 600 million people, which are reported every year, got contamination from spoiled food. And also there are around 0.4 million deaths per year. And half of this is the children below 5 years of age. So this is a huge burden also, and there is a very good expenditure of the capita also on this. So when we talk about the changes globally, okay, the surveillance is very strong when we talk about developed countries. They have latest technologies. They're moving toward that side, that data analysis, genomics, everything is in line now. And they are working very targetedly on the surveillance of food, on foodborne diseases. But when we talk about India, it's in very initial stage because of less awareness, I think. When we talk about, okay, we got a food contamination, let's say my stomach is not, it's upset today because I had something yesterday, I will have some medicine and I will be fine. But I'm not reporting it to any health department, and it is nowhere noted. So we don't know what is the actual trend of foodborne illness. And because of this, there are so many deaths also. In India, it's a huge challenge because population is very, very high, and we are going to be #1 next year, I think, in population terms. So, developing a network, it's very difficult in India, and FSSA is doing a great job. But the mindset is not changing. Okay, we have to change the mindset, providing awareness to the people and how to tackle with that. So yes, regulatory body is doing something, but yes, the people awareness is very important in this case. Also, the testing of food, yes, we don't have sufficient network of testing laboratories. The infrastructure is not there yet. And also there are so many schemes. It's in the news also, FSSA is providing funds to create an infrastructure so that we can just start the surveillance properly and reduce we can see how the food safety trends are going on in India, what is the actual disease burden in India because of the contaminated food. Also also when we talk about the risk-based approach, so if you see the latest standards globally, the approach is moving towards the risk analysis. Okay, before we were talking about corrective actions, preventive actions, after happening of the events, or let's say there is any contamination which was found, then we are recalling it and then we are taking the corrective actions for that. But now there is a risk-based approach, and we can see it in the latest standards also. Those are changing. So it's like a preventive model to stop the contamination before happening. So you can, when we talk about the manufacturers, yes, they can they can trace, okay, what is the probability of contamination which will happen to their food in the coming time. So the model is moving toward that side, and when we talk about the global food manufacturers, they are moving towards that side. So the major part is the data analysis. People are doing surveillance. Okay, they have the data, but they don't know what to do with that.
Thank you, Naresh.
Yeah.
So now I'll request Dr. Kriti to elaborate a little further. She is the director and head of R&D of Kapiva Ayurveda. We've been hearing a lot about Kapiva, and I think you'd be the best person to tell us what are the latest testing technologies for food.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Neerja, and kudos to Synnex for bringing us all together again. So like we've been discussing about food safety and the importance of testing around these products, it goes without saying that, you know, we all know prevention is better than cure. So right from the beginning, when we procure the raw material, till the product goes to the market and reaches the end consumer, and even after, you know, the product is open till its shelf life is there, we have to ensure that it is safe and it is free from any kind of contamination. So when we speak about contamination, it can be physical, chemical, microbiological, and of course now, you know, we know about allergens, heavy metals, pesticides. So I come from herbal, set of products. So I'll touch base upon that, how we are ensuring that in the supply chain and how we are ensuring that the end product is safe for consumption. So we all know that, you know, the Ayurvedic or the herbal products, they come from a source which might have some microbiological contamination where it is originated, because of the collection or because of the transit. So it's very important that while we start the process, we all follow all the prerequisites, we take complete care in washing and drying, and, you know, then making sure that the raw material, the starting material is good to use. So all the testings actually start from that stage, wherein we ensure that the raw material is good, because, you know, we can't go wrong while making the product. And of course, when the manufacturing is happening, we have to inbuild the in-process quality controls, wherein, you know, the smear test of the vessels where the production is happening, the containers wherein the product is going to be filled in, all those testings are completely in place. And after that, you know, we go to the final product and of course the finished product testing. When we talk about the rapid testing, we see that there are a lot of new set of tests which have come up. So like we all know, the rapid ELISA based or antigen antibody based testings which are available, which are very quick in terms of their output and of course their sensitivities. Apart from that, there are metabolic output of the microbes which can be detected through very simple biochemical assays. There are biosensors, there are photo fibers, optical fibers which can actually detect the contamination by simple transduction techniques. And of course ATP detection, because that is something that the microbes generate when they undergo metabolism in a product, depending on the food type. So these tests are definitely there, but of course the industry is facing challenges in terms of the costing and everything. And apart from this, there are certain devices which have also come up. Like for example, we all must, I think everybody must have seen, there was a device which was presented in Shark Tank also, which was about the condition of the fruit, which you can detect by putting it on the fruit or anything, and you can find out whether it is ripe or raw. So these are all based on physics parameters which can actually help you, of course a combination of physics and chemistry, which can help you detect the quality of the food. So of course the techniques seem to be very promising and we are moving towards these. It goes without saying that when the finished product is on the shelf, there are certain other techniques which work as a strip, where you can actually check the product is stale or when it was packed, how much time for that transit has happened, where the product is like, it doesn't have a very long shelf life. So for bakery items or even, the milk-based products. And of course, there are so many brands who have come up with rapid testing kits that they're giving with the product. Like, you can test it at home. So even if you look at the regulatory bodies, that what they are doing right now is that they are recommending a lot of at-home tests that you can do with these food products like ghee or milk or honey or, shilajit, so many of them. So I think the consumer has also evolved, and it's very important that we know that we are eating right. And of course the regulatory bodies and all of us are trying to go and develop more towards this. And I really think that these testings, if we can optimize the costing around them, they will definitely help us achieve better in terms of food safety and their overall product quality.
Thank you, Dr. Kriti. Thank you for elaborating on the different tests. But I think at the base of all of it is also microbiology. So my question to Ashish, who is basically heading R&D for Devyani Foods, is, do you all use microbiological tests in your industry, and how do you use that? Is it rapid enough for you to give the right answers?
Yeah, basically we are belong to the seasonal industry, and in the season we have a very pressure to reduce the release the product from the plant. So there is a lot of hurdles for us, because as we already discussed that there is so many method to detect the pathogen into the food. But currently in India, not a single company, so many companies using the traditional method, that microbiology we already discussed about the pour plate method, these kind of method we are using. Yes, in India this method is older and laborious and the time-taking job. And for the seasonal industry where we are belong to, we don't have too much time to hold a product in a plant. We are dispatching around 2.5 lakh liter ice cream per day. To hold that kind of that much of quantity in a plant for 2 or 3 days is a bigger challenge for us. So we have to invest in a huge capacity in a blast rooms to store the ice cream in a minus 18-degree temperature. Same with the frozen creams like whipped topping creams, which where I belong to. So yes, rapid testing will be a game changer for the India, because we all are facing the issue in the food safety sector. Not only in India, globally this is the big challenge for the industries. If I talk about the food-borne diseases and food-borne fatality as per the Times of India, in India it is 2 million food-borne disease happening in India, and around 0.4 million deaths. So it is not a very small topic for us. It is a very serious matter, country like India. So we can see easily in the newspaper on headline. I have read in 2 or 3 days back that in some cases happened in MP, Kerala, Telangana. Especially these cases happening with the below the 5-year children, which is a very serious for the community like us. We all are belong to the community, who is the key decision maker for the industry to release the food into the market and to ensure the food it is safe for the human consumption. We need to understand the severity of this topic. I want to urge to everybody that FSSA has already taken a step on it. They approved a 30 rapid testing kit which is available on an e-portal on FSSA JAM. So which these 30 rapid testing kit FSSA is selling by their e-portal, which is purchased by the state governments, then they hand over to the field officers. So we prepare for it. It is very easy to detect the pathogen in your product into the market. So this is the upcoming days, it will be the bigger challenge for the food industries to inhibit the microbiological contamination into the product. Basically, this contamination also play a big role towards your product loyalty, because we are living in the era that information technology is growing very fastly. One product case can despoil your product image into the market, even your brand image into the market. So this is, we need to understand it, and I urge to all the participants who is here. I think these all are belong to the food technology, biotechnology, chemistry, and they are performing their jobs in the industries. Whatever product you are releasing into the market, it is consumed by the some mothers, fathers, son, even the below the children, below the 5 years children also. So yes, 30, as I already said, that 30 kits is available, and yes, our indigenous researchers and marketing team is working hard to develop a more cheaper testing kits, because the bigger advantage, as I have already discussed with the panel members, that the costing of these rapid testing kit is quite high.
Ashish will come to that a little later. So, yeah, you've given the basis for basically microbiological testing, right? But we are hearing a lot about molecular biology. There's a lot about genomics, metagenomics, and then this has been the decade for the advent of biotechnology in that sense. So, Pradip Kundu, he is head of quality assurance in Dabur. So, are you all doing any molecular biology based techniques or detection kits? Do you all have any such detection kits for your products?
Right. Thanks, Dr. Neerja, and I really thanks to Synnex for giving the privilege. Right. The word food testing, the word which basically is very close to the quality personals of the food industry, right? Being a quality, this professional, the food testing word comes, that means we had a lot of association with that. And doing a testing, as all our speakers has mentioned, that by doing a traditional method, just checking chemical parameters, then microparameters, nutritional analysis, health studies, it's all related to testings. Now, though the era is moving into rapid testing, which is the most important, as it has been said by my colleague, that friend, that to release the product in the market becomes a challenge for the industries to test the product fully and to release the product, right? And if you see that microbiologically contaminations basically no industry by themselves put it by themselves, right? It comes by chance or something like that associated with the raw materials. And sometimes you can see that certain microorganisms comes in their plate, then you wonder whether these microorganisms, maybe bacteria, yeast and mold, yaar isko to kabhi dekha nahi humne. This is very different, right? And to basically know that what kind of microbes are there, so that the plant or manufacturing site can take action on that. Because if you see that if you send the samples to enable laboratories, they will say, sir, we won't be able to do morphological studies, we won't be able to say this belongs to which genus, which species. There's again a hindrance. Though those laboratories are very advanced, but if you want, but still they are not having that kind of equipment. So you can see that nowadays the genomic analysis has started. And again, in India, there are very few labs, like Vivanta, Eurofins, and called IMTech, Institute of Microbial Technology. For any challenging microbes which you see, if you see which is coming into the product and we are not able to track down, unless you don't know what is the genus and species, actions can't be taken at the plant level, right? Here the genomic analysis really tell us that these microorganisms belongs to which genus, whether it is Fusarium, whether it is Candida, whether it is Lactantia. So that basically helps us whether these microorganisms are coming really from the plant or it is coming from the raw materials. Then the actions can be taken on that. And this is the way where the plant can gear up, because you know all the plants are doing proper sanitation, cleaning activities are there, but still where you are getting that, something may be associated with the product, may be associated with the raw materials, may be associated with the workers. So that's this genomic, which is very new to the system in India, is very less, but in globally you can see that genomic analysis has really taken a pace, because to identify the real microbes, then only the actions can be taken, which is very important and fruitful. I would suggest, please, for the companies who are facing challenges for that, the genomic, because in Dabur we had also started doing this, and really that help us, so that in that case we can track to the vendor level from where it is coming. Because Dabur makes a lot of food products like juices, honey, Chawanprash, healthcare product also. So again, the organic products are much more used over there. So herbs, everything, herbs which is coming from the forest areas, is coming from the shrubs, they might have those kind of microbes which basically it is not been found easily identified by the microbiologist in the plant. So,
thank you,
yeah,
Pradip.
that's a good part.
In interest of time, I want one more round and then I want to open the floor to the audience.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Dabur is doing genomics. Huh? At IMTech, you all are doing your products at IMTech, or are you doing it with a private laboratory?
Yeah, because there are certain labs, what they ask that you have to send the samples or just do a culture and give to them, and they will do the DNA profiling, and they will identify that to which genus and which species of that.
Yeah,
And
so-
that really helps a lot
Yeah.
because to do a real investigation and to really eliminate that at all.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because we know
Bacteria
about
that is-
pathogens. Pathogens everybody knows. Salmonella, Pseudomonas, this is easily identifiable. But those which are different from that,
Yes.
which is basically spoiling our product, that becomes a challenge.
Thank you, Pradip. That was very
Thank you.
insightful. And but we know India is a cost-sensitive market, and if these tests are so expensive, I mean, I don't know how we are going to afford them in our country. So my one question to all the panel members, and this is one question just for 2 minutes because I want to open the panel discussion to the floor. So given that India is a cost-sensitive market, given that these products, these testing technologies are very expensive, how do you maintain brand equity and customer loyalty with your products? Naresh, exactly 2 minutes from now, and please don't.
Yes, yes. So I would say because we are a solution provider,
Yeah.
we are collaborating with different food companies to provide them the rapid analysis solutions. So we are moving towards the predictive diagnostics so that the load of the analysis will go down and they can predict the kind of challenges they will face in the future.
So how do you maintain customer loyalty?
Yes, so we are, rather than providing only the kits to them, we are their partners. Whenever there are any challenges, they can get back to us. Okay, we are facing this, we want a solution. And we are partnering with them to provide them a complete solution so that they can remove the challenges what they are facing in the industry.
Thank you, Naresh. Pradip, 1.5 minutes.
Yes, I will just say that because Dabur was associated with the bioMérieux when we are looking for a rapid technology. And I remember really the company, they just suggested that they suggested that they will put their machine in a factory and for the count, and you can do the analysis from your part, and then once you're satisfied with that, then only you can go for that. That kind of relationship and understanding should be there, because when a company used to, or any organization is going to buy such very expensive equipments, and you know that there is a lot of challenges to buy this very expensive equipment, so there the trust comes very important along with the big players like bioMérieux and Newgens and brokers. So nowadays they are coming up to the organization, and they are putting their equipments over there, doing the testings over there, so that it becomes easy to use and right results are got. Then slowly the industries are definitely, basically they started buying those equipments which are very useful for the day-to-day activities. Yeah.
Ratnesh.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है अपनी टीम से कि हम इस पे डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं कि माइक्रोबियल टेस्ट क्या होना चाहिए, कैसे होना चाहिए, कैसे रैपिड कर सकते हैं. वन क्वेश्चन माय साइड, अगर आपने प्रोडक्ट पूरा, क्योंकि ऐसा हो चुका है मेरे टेन्योर में कि प्रोडक्ट अगर आप स्टरलाइजेशन के बना रहे हैं, उसके बाद में प्रोडक्ट में कंटामिनेशन आ रहा है ओवर द लिमिट, तो वहाँ पर क्या करना चाहिए? तो मैं आपकी तरफ से ये आंसर देता हूँ कि उसको सिर्फ डिस्कार्ड करना चाहिए, बिकॉज हम कंज्यूमर को हम नहीं दे सकते. बट डिस्कार्ड इज़ द वन सोल्यूशन, देयर इज़ अ वेस्टेज. तो अब मैं रिवर्स में आता हूँ कि ये हुआ, मान लिया 10 लाख का माल ख़राब हुआ, अब उसको फेंकना पड़ा. अब 10 लाख का माल फेंकना इज़ आंसर कि फेंक दीजिए जी. बट उस 10 लाख का माल जो फेंकना पड़ा, उसको क्यों फेंकना पड़ा? देयर इज़ द रीज़न behind that, because you not follow the system. रॉ मटेरियल्स आपके अगर लिमिट में थे तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आनी चाहिए. अगर प्रोसेस आपने स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन किया था तो नहीं आनी चाहिए थी. दैट मीन्स यू डू नॉट फॉलो द रॉ मटेरियल स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन, यू डू नॉट फॉलो द प्रोसेस स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन. एंड वन मोर थिंग्स जो मैं और आप सब भी जानते हैं, क्योंकि मैंने प्रोडक्ट डेवलप किए हैं, वी फॉलो द स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन इन लैब, क्योंकि वो 1 kg का या 5 kg का बैच होता है. बट इन द प्रोसेस वी टेकिंग द 5000 kg बैचेस. वहाँ पर एक लेबर काम करता है या लो कैटेगरीज वर्कर काम करता है, जिसको फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमको उनको नॉलेज अवेयरनेस करना है अकॉर्डिंग टू द हाइजीन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. क्योंकि हमने बताया कि हाँ इसमें जाइए आप, ये टेम्परेचर पे करिए और चेंज करिए, तो उसको सब चीज़ बताना है कि आप वेयरिंग कैसे करेंगे, हैंड कैसे वॉश करेंगे। उसने सुबह ग्लव्स पहन लिया, शाम तक पहने हुए है, देयर इज अ थॉट प्रोसेस कि ग्लव्स पहने हुए है, बट कंटामिनेशन कहाँ से जनरेट हो रहा है, आफ्टर द टाइम इंटरवल उसको ग्लव्स चेंज कब करना है, कब अपने वेयर्स को क्लोथ को चेंज करना है, नेक्स्ट डे आके क्या करना है, हैंड वॉश सैनिटाइजेशन कैसे करना है। दिस इज द मोस्ट एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट टू इफेक्ट द फूड। आई एम श्योर दैट श्योर कि ये जो प्रोसेस स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन है, अगर इसको फॉलो अप कर लेंगे तो 80% आपका माइक्रो कंटामिनेशन खत्म हो जाएगा।
Thank you, Ratnesh. Yeah, that is very meaningful. Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. So, Dr. Kriti, I think we all agree with Ratnesh that it is very important to follow the process. Yeah. Your mic is not working.
So the process is definitely important, and it goes without saying that all of these things, along with the hazard control policy, CCPs, prerequisites, PRPs, OPRPs, everybody needs to follow that. They are not just for the paper; they are just they have to be practiced. And of course, when all of these things are done, then the hazards are at the final stage are minimized. But in terms of just to touch base upon the products that we work on, sometimes the processes also ensure that your end product doesn't fail. So like for example, when we make kadhas or extracts, we expose the products to a very high temperature. Like we were just discussing when sir said that we get the raw materials which are herbs and they might be contaminated in a very different manner. So then it becomes very, very important that the processes that you involve, and when you check your raw material for all kinds of tests and you find out what can be the microbiological hazards over there, and of course there are chemical hazards also, because heavy metals and pesticides, they can be n number of things. So the processes themselves, the entire manufacturing process has to ensure that the hazard doesn't happen at the final stage. So just wanted to reiterate on the fact that there are a lot of challenges in terms of inconsistencies and the phytoactives or the markers that we say in the products are. So we, as I would say, when we talk about large batches, we have to always ensure that these are within the ranges. So we work out the specifications in such a manner that the efficacy, the safety, everything is maintained while we still lie in that safe zone. So
yeah. Thanks, Dr. Kriti. Ashish, last but not the least, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, basically the customers which we are targeting is mostly our customers are the children, because the Cream Bell is the brand which is very known for their ice creams. So yeah, I agree with the process, because if we follow all the process what we have done, what we have decided already, which is in your SOP, we can easily counter the food pathogen or foodborne diseases. But still in India, the education and the person who is doing this job to sensitize them what to do, what to not do. So these are the little bit challenges. But yes, the industry who are caring and they want to reap the benefit of the repeat sales, they have to do this. Otherwise, the market is continuously growing, and this as in India, the global companies is also participating in the food industries. So this factor is proliferating the market, and the game completely is changed. The business we were doing in the past, right now it is not like this. This is the competition, and we all have to fight it and to build a brand loyalty into the customer. What is the brand loyalty that we need to understand? The continuous chain of the events and the experience, what customer is feeling with your product when he is consuming, this is the brand loyalty. If the customer is continuously buying your product, then there's a factor that customer is satisfied with your product. Once the customer is satisfied with your product, he will promote your product and give a potential market to you. And if the customer is not satisfied with the product, he can discourage your potential customers. So this is the big factor that we need to understand.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you. So that was a very insightful panel discussion. We have experts on this panel. And now what I'm going to do is open the house to the floor. So if you all have any questions to the expert panel members, we have exactly 2.5 minutes. We'll be able to take those questions. So anybody has a question?
And keep your question brief and precisely to which panel member. If it is a general question, then I think Neerja ji would be the perfect person to point it out to which panel member the question should go. So yes, we have 2 minutes, so let's have the questions. So we have, sir, I would request you to please keep your hand up because it's a full house.
Yes. So
You will get the mic.
Yeah.
Please do introduce yourself.
I am Venkateswarlu from Creamline Dairy. My question is to Ashish. You told about FSSA kits which can be tested readily, about 30 parameters. These parameters of which product these parameters are mentioned for?
Yeah, basically these all the 30 kits, rapid test kits belong to the different category, oils and fats, milks. Not the all parameters we can check with these 30. This is the initial case which FSSA has approved the 30 rapid testing kit for the food industries. Those rapid testing kit FSSA is approved in 2019 and by 2020 it is delivering to the state governments. Now the field officers start start taking these kits from the state governments and they are doing testing in the field. So it is not open for the currently in the industry for the private industry. Hello. So you can buy it from the other food solutions company. Yes, for your knowledge, one more thing I want to currently it is little costly from the traditional testing, but in indigenously our scientists and the internal research panel of the ICMR and the lot of research centers working hard to develop biosensor based, nucleic acid based and the immunological based testing in India. Like we faced already COVID and we are the perfect example to develop the testing kits. Like COVID, now it is available in 50 rupees. So soon we will see the rapid testing in the market become cheaper also.
So we can take one more question. Yes. Okay, 2 more questions, if you agree. 2. Yes.
Hello. My name is Vaibhav Keskar. I am from Ecolab Food Safety and Hygiene Solutions. So for prevention of the contamination in food products at factory level, there are 2 aspects. One is the manufacturing process and another one is the preparation of the whole system ready for the production. So there are a lot of actually rules and regulations as well as there are norms for the quality of raw material as well as manufacturing process. Madam has just told that the product is actually going at high temperature and all those things. This is okay. And there are a lot of FSSA regulations. But another important aspect is the preparation of your whole system ready for production. So my question is to Mr. Pradip sir, that the cleaning and hygiene, cleaning and sanitation process, what is the importance of cleaning and sanitation process for the good quality food products? Are there any developments which are actually going on, or is there any need to now get into some newer technologies and newer processes to get our system ready for production? Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much for the very interesting questions colleague has put forward. Yeah, for preparation, definitely see that the preparation of a tank will be processed before taking a production. We're talking about the cleaning efficiency, right? That's called CIP, COP over there. And traditionally, if I say CIP, COP, okay, like caustic use karo, acid use karo, flush karo, hot water do 85 degree temperature, flush out for this, flush it out. And these are very traditional method. Now you can see that much apart from that, there are certain chemicals which I think like Ecolabs, Diversity, they are using as a very efficient product. Concentrations are very less, time taking is very less, and it's totally automated system. This manufacturing sites are putting, I think, in Coke, PepsiCo, they are very this major user of this kind of chemicals, and that efficacy basically the systems are totally automated. Everything is SCADA-based controls, and you will get a spot results because you take a rinse water, do the ATP monitoring, you will see that count is less than 10. That means your system is clean. So I do agree that because apart from using the caustic and acid like lye and nitric acid, much more chemicals which are very effective and having a very dual effectiveness are very there. And by using those kind of these technologies, plant systems will be very much prepared for taking up productions which will not harm the product at all.
Thank
Yeah, I am able to answer your questions.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, panel members, and I'm sure,
There are many more questions, I think, but meet for lunch, so I think you can...
Absolutely. The honorable panel members are all available, so for the questions, I'm sure you will have a lot of questions, so please feel free to reach out to them. They are all available here. Now, can we have a big round of applause for this fantastic panel here? A big round of applause for the food testing methods and technologies in food and beverages. And we had a wonderful panel session here. Now I would like to call on stage Mr. Hemant Giri from bioMérieux to kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel. So do we have Hemant here? Thank you so much, Hemant, for doing the honors. Welcome to the stage. We'll start with Dr. Kriti Soni, Head R&D from Kapiva Ayurveda. A big round of applause to Dr. Kriti for wonderfully contributing in the panel session. Mr. RATNESH SRIVASTAVA, General Manager R&D from Nutrelis Agro Foods. A big round of applause to RATNESH for his wonderful contribution for the panel session. Mr. Ashish Savita, Head R&D NDC from Devyani Foods Industries. A big round of applause for Ashish for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Mr. Pradip Kundu, Head Quality Dabur India. A big round of applause to Pradip ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. We have Mr. Naresh Kumar from bioMérieux South Asia. A big round of applause to Naresh ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. And our honorable moderator, Dr. Neerja Hajela from Yakult, Danone, India. A big round of applause to Neerja ji for wonderfully moderating the panel session. I would request the panel members to kindly come forward for a group photograph, and Hemant, if you could also join them. Big round of applause again, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful panel session. Very informative and very precise and to the point on food testing, methods and technologies in food and beverages. And a big thank you and our gratitude to the